testing the video, if anybody's watching. Just want to see if it's paused or not. Let me have a look if we have any viewers. No viewers here. Oh, hey, Shivani. Hi, and Parasocial Perry, greetings and welcome back. I'm busy sharing my stream across some Facebook groups and Discord groups. I'll be with you guys soon. Hey you guys, KK, welcome. Shivani wants to know when she'll get her next boyfriend. Getting bored? What does Doxy think about me and what does Irene think about me? Hey guys, I'm gonna get to your readings in a minute. I want to share this stream a few times and then I will help you guys out. Okay, I'm going to start with these two groups and then if the chat gets quiet, I'll share it a few more times. Cool. So, first question. Parasocial Perry says he will look to boost viewership. Thank you. Okay. Hearts Love Joe is back. Hi. Thank you again for the like. So who is first on my list? We've got... May I know what will I get next boyfriend? I'm getting bored these days. So when will you get a new boyfriend? Let's ask the tarot how you can adjust yourself and fill your own cup so that you find a healthy relationship. Hey Kinza Khan, welcome back. Show Shivani what she needs to do to find a wholesome, long-lasting relationship. I've got your first card as the Seven of Wands. It's reversed. We've got your second card as the Two of Swords, also reversed. And we have the Seven of Swords as your future interval. Oh, my mistake. So first card is past interval, second card is present interval, and third card is future interval. Yeah, Seven of Swords. Cool. Okay. So the Seven of Wands is telling me that you've been sitting still, examining all of the opportunities in front of you regarding your desires. So you have desires that you want or you wanted, and you're sitting back, and you're looking at all these opportunities to manifest your desires, but you're not choosing any. You've been. This is past interval, so that's something that's coming to a close. You've been sitting still, observing and contemplating all the possibilities that you have, but not actually choosing any. And that has been detrimental to actually having your desires. In your present, with the Two of Swords, this is talking about potential for growth in your intuition and in your purpose. Now, a little tidbit on purpose: it is not something that's given to you divinely. It is, you have a desire in your heart, and When you step out to apply your will to accomplishing that desire, that's when you're in purpose. So this card, in your present, you're at a gateway where there's much abundance regarding your intuition and your purpose, and it's a challenge to step through that gateway and take those things for yourself and actually evolve into your purpose and your intuitive abilities. It's going to be a challenge to actually take that step. You're also going to need to be able to go for periods of time without fulfillment, without emotional and financial fulfillment, and without any kind of results from the hard work that you're putting into manifesting these, this purpose that you're chasing. So that card is just saying that you need to work on yourself and not so much look for a boyfriend at the moment. When you are stepping into your purpose, then you're going to find your boyfriend is just going to happen. A boyfriend relationship is just going to happen. Future interval with the Seven of Swords. This one is very much related to the present card, the Two of Swords. It is saying that there are opportunities in front of you right now. There are various different roads you can take towards accomplishing your purpose, and it wants to remind you to examine them and choose one and get on with it, because that's how you get to your future. This future interval card isn't talking about a future that's going to happen. It's talking about what you need to do in the moment, what you can seize in the moment in order to have the future that you want. And the swords are all about thought and intuition and purpose. Yeah, hope that resonates. Thank you very much. If you'd like to give back, please feel free to donate, and if you can't, if you're not by the means to donate, please go ahead and like and share, follow, etc. Okay, I'm going to have a look at what else we've got going in the chat. So KK, what does Doxy think about me, and what does Irene think about me? Okay, thank you so much for the share, KK. And you're most welcome, Shivani, most welcome. Yeah. Moving on to KK. KK is next in line. After KK, I think we're at Joe. We're at Heartslove Joe. Does Jackson miss me and want to be with you? I remember you asked me this question before, and we gave you a pretty an answer that had a lot of variety in it that could help you. You sure you want to ask me the same question again? The tarot is just going to tell you to work on yourself again. You know that, right? Okay, KK. Reveal to KK the truth of Doxy and Irene's intentions. Hello, Corey Ellis. Thank you for sharing. I'm busy with a reading for KK. So your first card, past intervals, 8 of the trumps. It's called Adjustment, reversed. Present interval, Queen of Cups, also reversed. And future interval, number 12 of the trumps, the Hanged Man. Okay. Okay. So this first card, number 8 of the trumps, Adjustment, it's talking about how Doxy and Irene have been trying to make you go through adjustments in yourself, to make changes to your lifestyle and the way you interact with people and the world in general. This has been difficult for you. The things that they're trying to make you adjust have been a challenge and have probably caused you to feel resentful and just generally feeling cuck about it, like why do I need to let go of all this stuff? But the reason they're doing this, the reason they want you to make these adjustments to your life and your reality, it is so that you can find better balance in yourself. Them trying to influence you this way has come to a close. That's past intervals. In your present, you're like looking into water and you're seeing your reflection in the water, but the reflection is blurry. You can't really see it all that clearly. What this means is that as you're interacting with people, particularly with Doxy and with Irene, you're seeing yourself in them. you're like in your mind, you're imagining that they're having thoughts and you're imagining that they're feeling certain things, but that's because you've felt those things and you've had those kind of thoughts, and so you imagine that they're having the same thoughts. It's like looking into the water and seeing your reflection, but the reflection is blurry, it's not accurate, it's not actually an accurate reflection of yourself. So yeah, that's what it's saying. It's saying that what you're thinking they're thinking of you is probably not accurate. It's more a reflection of yourself than them. Number 12, your future intervals. This is the Hanged Man. So what this card is saying is that in the moment, you have the opportunity to put yourself in a position where you have no choice except to engage your creative potential and your intuition in order to move forward and make a breakthrough. So for example, like with this adjustment card, whatever it is that they've been telling you to do, if you feel like you can't do it or you've been unable to get into the adjustment and you've been unable to get into the balance, then put yourself in a position where you have no choice and that you have to engage your creativity and your will in order to, make that breakthrough. Sila. Thank you very much. Hope it resonates, hope it helps. Let's see who is next. We've got Corey Ellis. Okay, Corey. Should I keep trying with Bill? I need some guidance if possible. When you're done, of course. Of course, I'm done. Ready to do your reading, Corey. Okay, let's see. Okay, lay bare the truth of Corey's relationship with Bill. So your past interval is the 7 of discs. Your present interval is the Lovers, number 6 of the trumps. Your future interval is the 6 of discs, reversed. Okay, so the 7 of discs, this one is talking about how you and Bill, or in this relationship, you have both had to sit down and really observe all of the opportunities you have in front of you towards accomplishing financial security and some kind of balance in your income and expense. You've had to look at all of these different roads you could take towards reaching that financial security and that physical value. This is in the past, you guys contemplated it, you made a decision, you set forward. In the present, you're in a relationship. Now, I'm not so certain if this card is talking about your relationship with Bill, but it's talking about a relationship. It's telling me that you have been doing the best that you can be doing with what you know and with what you have. You still had some limitations, but we all do. We do the best with what we can and with what we know. However, this relationship that you're now in, whether it is Bill or whether it's someone else that you've been seeing or met recently, that person is also doing the best that they can with what they know and with what they have. And because of that, you are both evolving past your previous limitations through this interaction you have now. You're both overcoming your limitations because he or she has got pieces of the puzzle and you've got pieces of the puzzle, and you're sharing your information through your relationship, and it's pushing you each beyond your previous limits. So your future interval, this is the opportunities you should seize now in the present in order to have the future you desire. So this one is telling me that there will be an opportunity, or that you have an opportunity through this relationship, whether it be Bill or somebody else. You have an opportunity to progress in your financial situation. Working together with this individual is going to be difficult. That's what the card is saying, but it's saying it's in your best interest. It's you're gonna find you're gonna be able to achieve more in your physical reality with your finances, and just more physical value, material value. Just mind that it's going to be difficult, and you're probably going to have to you're going to have to take a step back every now and then and not react to your emotions in order to make the relationship work. Sila. Thank you very much. Hope that helps you out. So, We've got 5 viewers at the moment. Does anybody want a reading? Because I've just finished with all the readings that were in my queue. So please, feel free to make a request. You're most welcome, Corey. If you would like to give something back, please don't hesitate to donate to me. Any small amount works. If you can't afford that, then a follow or a share, that'll help a lot. Thank you. I'm glad that it does help. Parasocial Perry wants to know how we can find some fulfillment. That is a profound question. Definitely going to be answering that for you. So, Parasocial Perry. Help Perry understand what it means to be fulfilled. Okay, so your first card, past intervals, Prince of Swords. Second card, present interval, number 14 of the trumps, art. Future interval, number 10 of the trumps, fortune. Okay, so the Prince of Swords is telling me how you've recently been in a position, or you put yourself in a position, probably put yourself there, where you had no choice but to evolve in your intuition and your purpose in order to get going again. You were like stagnant and stuck, and you'd put yourself there on purpose, and the point of doing that was to force yourself, give yourself no option except to really engage your intuitive potential and your ability so that you could move forward and evolve. Something weird is going on with my laptop and my chat. Something really weird. Anyway, present, number 14 of the trumps. This is talking about creativity. It's telling me that you're trying to use your creativity at the moment. You're trying to co-create with others, and you're trying to allow your spirit guides to actually guide you in the creation, so that there's some kind of spiritual value within the art you're creating. And this art doesn't have to be drawing or painting or anything like that, or even music. Although I think you did mention music last time we spoke, but anyway, it could be anything, you know, even marketing, whatever it is, and whatever it is that you're doing in order to create something for yourself is creativity and art. However, this card is telling me that it's difficult for you. It has been difficult. You're having a tough time with your creative process. Yeah, it's mentioning like resistance from the outside. Perhaps every time you sit down to get engaged in your creative space, you're feeling like people suddenly need you, or people are suddenly interrupting, making it difficult, or the environment, even weather, whatever, something is getting in the way. But to be honest with you, only you have the authority to stay focused and to like get on with what you're doing. Nobody else can interrupt you. It's about your focus. Others can try, but it's your focus. And when it comes to fulfillment, it's exactly the same. You've got to fill yourself up. So in order to really make your creative process work for you, you're going to have to fill your own cup. You're going to have to realize that you are the source where the value comes from. You are focused, and that the environment doesn't actually have the authority to derail your process. You alone have that authority. So future intervals here is number 10 of the trumps, fortune. The card is reversed. So this card wants to remind you that all the seeds you've sown in the past are going to manifest in the present, whether they be positive, whether they be negative. If you're being rude to people, you're sowing seeds into your life for other people to be rude to you. If you are stealing from people, you're sowing seeds in your life for people to steal from you, etc. If you're planting seeds of value, for example, you're investing into a business, that business will come back to you and it will return what you've invested to you. And that's just an example here. It's talking specifically about negative seeds that you've sown in the past that are going to come into the present, and it wants you to take advantage of them. Despite the fact that they are ill-intended seeds that you planted in moments of weakness, when they come up now in the present, seize them, transmute them, turn them into something positive, so that when they come back around again, it's positive for you. And it also wants to remind you that the seeds you're sowing into your creative process now are going to come around, and they're going to come back to you in the form of as much value as you're putting into it now. And value doesn't have to be money, it can be time and energy, and these things will come back to you tenfold. So your fulfillment comes from within. You fill yourself up, you stay focused, you sow your seeds of good intention, and it comes back around to you, and you reap your harvest and you enjoy your harvest. That's where your fulfillment will come from. It cannot come from the outside. You've got to be fulfilled on the inside. It's a process. It is a process. It's not just going to happen overnight, but work on it. Work on keeping your focus, work on developing your creativity, work on sowing positive seeds and transmuting the negative ones that you're reaping. When people come back to you as a result of you being rude to them, this is examples, you were rude to someone, they come back to you and they chastise you, take it. Take it, apologize, and offer them value, offer them help with whatever they're going through, and that's how you're transmuting it, so that when it comes back around again, you reap a good harvest. Sila. Okay. Hey, Dr. Priya Ratne. Dr. Priya Ratne. You're most welcome, Perry. You're most welcome. That's what I'm here to do. Dr. Priya Ratne, do you have a request for a reading? Because there is nobody else in the queue ahead of you at this point. Please feel free to make a request with a question. I can do general readings too, if you prefer a general reading. Oh. Okay, while I wait, I'm going to go share to another... Oh wait, can you get a reading for some relationship advice? What my partner thinks about me and what decisions I should take. Excellent question. I will help you out with that in a sec. Okay. Help Priya understand how she is being perceived through the projections she is making of herself, and what action she needs to take in this regard. Alright, so this is the Seven of Wands, your past interval. Present interval, number 18 of the trumps, it is the Moon. Future interval is the Eight of Discs. Okay, so the Seven of Wands, this one is telling me how you have been in a place where you were contemplating all the various roads and opportunities that you could follow in order to realize your desires, the desires that you have for yourself. So this is past interval, so there were many different paths you could step on towards manifesting your desires for yourself. And you made your choice, you chose the direction you were going to go, bingo. Remember, this is talking about how your husband is perceiving you. So he watched you go through that. He watched you be presented with all of these opportunities and various options, and he watched you choose and step out in your intention. In your present, you are at the precipice of magical awakening, of like intuitive spiritual awakening. In this card I see like there are two watchtowers, and the god of death, Anubis from Egypt, is standing there, and on the other side of this gate there's a sea, but the sea has been parted, much like Moses parted the sea and they passed through on dry land. So this card is talking about adversity and the opportunity to awaken in your spirituality, and it wants to encourage you to step into that, to embody it, to choose it wholly without any shame, to have faith that the waters of adversity and struggle will separate as you step into that gateway. It will separate and you can cross through and safely. And yeah, the jackals of the god of death won't be able to get you. Even if he chases after you, when you come out the other side, he's going to get drowned, just like the Egyptian chariots were. Okay, so your husband's also perceiving this. He's seeing that you're right on the edge and you're ready to go into this spiritual awakening. He's probably worried for your sake. He doesn't know if you're going to come out okay. But this card is saying that you will, and you should definitely step out in faith and pursue whatever it is that is opening up for you. So your 8 of discs, which is future intervals. Partner, I keep saying husband, but partner. Future intervals is the 8 of discs, and that doesn't talk about a future that's going to happen to you. It's talking about opportunities you have in your present moment that you can grab hold of in order to make the future you want for yourself. So this card is talking about making adjustments to the way you handle your finances and your budgeting, just your expense in general, because as it stands there is too much outflow and not enough inflow, and you need to get to a point of balance between the two. So there's some adjustments you're going to have to make to the way you've been handling your resources in order to find that balance. And this card is also saying that your partner is there to help you with that. Your partner is also seeing these things and also wants to make these adjustments in order to find balance. So please don't hesitate to reach out to him and express to him the adjustments you want to make, and ask him about adjustments that you feel. Ask him what he thinks needs to change in the way you handle your physical value and your finances and your income. Selah. I hope that this helps you out a bit. If you'd like to give something back, please feel free to donate to me. If you can't, if your cup's not overflowing, please like, follow, share, subscribe. Those things are equally valuable. Thank you so much. Cairo, hello, I'd like to try a reading on love advice regarding what's coming in the future, if possible. Thanks in advance. Kiro, you are up next. Sorry, not understanding. Can you be more clear? What do I need to be more clear about? I said to you that you need to make adjustments in the way you handle your finances in order to find balance between your income and your expense, and that your partner is someone who can help you with this. So please, how much more clear does that need to be? Cairo is next. Need a reading on love advice regarding what's coming in the future, if possible. About spiritual, do you not know what that means? I'm telling you what the cards are telling me. You need to step out in faith. In your present, there's opportunity for spiritual awakening and spiritual growth. You need to step out in faith. There might be adversity and challenges, but you need to step out in faith, believing that the waters will part in front of you. I don't know what spiritual awakening you're about to go through. I'm only telling you what the cards are telling me. So Kiro, the future is not something that happens to you. It's something that you create for yourself. So, What's coming in the future? I'm trying to think of how I can word this better. Okay, show Kiro what changes need to be made in the self in order to avoid repeating past cycles. Seven of Swords, past interval, present interval. It is the number one of the trumps, the mages. Future interval, Five of Swords. Okay, so Seven of Swords is talking about the various opportunities that you had to follow your purpose, and you had to choose between multiple options. That's in the past. You've made the decision, you chose which direction you were going to travel in, you chose which aspect of your purpose you were going to pursue. In the present, you need to communicate. You need to communicate how you're feeling. There are so many opportunities, well, so many tools that you can use to communicate. Letters, words, cell phones, all of these things are used for communication, including the internet. It's talking to me about how lack of communication has been a saboteur in past relationships, and making adjustments to the way that you communicate and choosing when the right time is to communicate and using the right tools to communicate. That is how you break the cycle. That's how you find healthy relationship, healthy lasting relationship. Five of Swords, future interval, and this is not what's going to happen in the future. This is how you claim the future that you want. This card wants you to take advantage of all the tools and resources you have and all the knowledge that you have regarding your purpose and your intuition. So there are limits. You have limitations on what is available to you, and you have limitations on what you currently know. But it wants you to take all of those things, all those resources and all the knowledge that you have, and use it. Use it towards making these adjustments in your communicative skills. And this is how you make changes to yourself that will bring you into healthy relationship and will avoid going through the same cycles that you've been through consistently until now. Sila. I hope that resonates, and I hope it helps you. Good afternoon, Unity. Happy Monday. Happy Monday to you too. You're welcome, Keto. Most welcome. Please don't forget to subscribe, to like. Actually, there's no subscribe button. To follow, like, and share. Very valuable. You can also make a donation if your cup is overflowing and you're by the means. Heather Smith would love some insights. May I have a card about my new job in new department? Yes, of course. That's what we'll do for you, Heather. Okay. How can Heather Smith utilize this opportunity in her career to bring success to herself? You've got a 9 of discs as your past interval. You've got a 10 of wands as your present interval. And you've got number 17 of the trumps, the star, as your future interval. So the 9 of discs in your past is telling me about how you went out of your way to create financial evolution and to attract wealth to yourself. And it didn't work out the way that you wanted. You ended up spending and losing more than you had. Sorry, just checking what all of this pinging is about. Okay, nothing serious. Yesterday I had a lot of trolls coming in and out of my Discord server, creating a lot of disruption, so I wanted to just check that out. Anyway, so this is saying it didn't work out for you, the efforts you were making to increase your financial status. That's in the past though. Now you have this new job opportunity. So the 10 of Wands is talking about how you sowed seeds in the past. You made, you worked towards your intentions, and that manifested around into the present, and that's how you ended up with this job opportunity. And so it wants you to take a look again at what your desires are, and then make efforts towards realizing them, so that when the cycle goes through itself again and it goes all the way from 1 back round to 10, the seeds can grow and you can have a new harvest. Number 17 of the trumps is the star, and it is reversed. Now, the future is not going to happen to you. You have to claim the future that you want. And in order to have that future that you want, where you want this job to bring success to you, financial success, you need to, well, the card is reminding you not to react to your emotional self. When you have negative emotions, not to project them onto other people. And when other people come to you and they trigger you, to remember that they're not responsible for your triggers, and to not react to the trigger that you feel. Not to lash out as a result of your emotional uprise. Rather to take a step back and acknowledge the emotion and still choose to speak and act in alignment with the desire that you've sown. And that desire is towards financial success. So there you have it. Didn't do so well with the things you were trying to manifest in the past. That's done. You've managed to get this new job opportunity as a result of intentions you also sowed in the past. Now you must sow again your intentions towards your desires so that it can manifest again into the future. And don't react. Don't project your emotions and don't react to your triggers. Whenever you feel triggered or your emotions are rising up negatively, step back and choose to act in alignment with the desire you want to manifest and not act the way the emotions are telling you to act. Selah. I have no doubt that you can turn this job opportunity, this new job in this new department, into the financial success that you want it to be. I have no doubt. So, hello Tanya, how are you? I'm doing pretty well, and yourself? You'd like to ask a question? Please go ahead and do so. What's coming for me in love? I am Aries. Angel Fernandez Casas, hi, how are you? Liked and subscribed, thank you so much. Excuse me. I want to know, will Josie Daniel Martin Gonzalez marry another man in his lifetime? Okay, we can try that one out. But Tanya is first in line. And then we have Manisha Sharma. What does Abhisek feel about me? What does Abhisek feel about me? Okay, so we got a reading for Tanya, which is, what is coming for me in love? I am Aries. I'm not going to ask the tarot what is coming for you in love. I'm going to ask the tarot how you can adjust yourself in order to escape past cycles and realize realize the relationship that you'd like to see, a healthy, long-lasting relationship, fulfilling relationship. Show Tanya what she needs to adjust in herself in order to find true, healthy, fulfilling relationship. Your past interval is the Ten of Wands reversed. Your present interval is the Knight of Wands reversed. Your future interval is number 10 of the trumps. It is called Fortune. So, the Ten of Wands reversed, that's telling me that you have just reaped a harvest of negativity for yourself. You've reaped a harvest of ill-meaning intentions, and you reaped that harvest because you sowed ill-meaning intentions into your life and into other people's lives. So it went full circle and karma came back around and you reaped that harvest of negativity. But that's done. You've done that. You did it. It happened. You accepted it. Karma came, gave it back to you. It's done. Knight of Wands is your present interval, and this is talking to me about how you are currently undergoing a culling. Everything that you thought you wanted, and all the intentions you had sown and you had intentions to set about manifesting, all of that is now dying. Your old intentions, your old desires, you're killing it. It's not healthy. You're doing this, you're killing it so that you can birth new desires and set new intentions towards accomplishing those desires. Thus, letting go of the old has been painful. But it is kudos, well done. It's painful and it's challenging, but you're doing it. You're letting go of the old intentions and the old desires so that newer, stronger, healthier ones can take place. Future interval being number 10 of the trumps. So the future doesn't happen to you, you claim the future you desire. And this card wants to tell you that you have opportunities now to sow seeds towards the relationship that you want. So you're in this long distance relationship. If that's what you want, you can sow seeds into it now. You can dedicate time, you can dedicate love, and you can pour abundance into the relationship, and you will reap that abundance back into your life in the future. The relationship will manifest in the direction that you want if you sow those seeds into it now. If not, sow those seeds into yourself so that you can manifest a relationship with someone else who has been working on themselves. Selah. Hopefully that resonates and helps you get a better picture of what's coming to you. You're most welcome. Please feel free to make a donation if you feel like you want to give something back. Otherwise, liking, sharing, subscribing, these things are equally as valuable to me. Thank you so much. So, Angel Fernandez Casas. Liked and subscribed. Thank you very much. Wants to know Jose Daniel Martin Gonzalez. Want to know if he's going to marry another man in his lifetime. Okay, well, I'm going to ask the tarot. Angel Lover, hi. How are you doing? Thank you for joining. Okay, so let me have a look at that question again. Angel Fernandez, I'm going to ask the tarot to reveal the true nature of this man's soul. Because the tarot doesn't give specific dates, it doesn't answer specific questions. That kind of thing is for a pendulum. A pendulum gives you a yes or no answer, but then again, the pendulum will be really vague if that future is something that hasn't happened yet. Because the future isn't set. You can't know for absolute certain that something is going to happen unless you are making it happen. Then you can be certain. Okay. Reveal the soul of Daniel Martin Gonzalez. Jose Daniel Martin Gonzalez. So, this is his past interval. It's the 3 of discs. This is his present interval. It is number 13 of the trumps, death, and it is reversed. This is his future interval, which is the 4 of cups. So, the past interval, 3 of discs, talks about how he has, most of his life, he has been working in relationships of 3. And he has done this, whether there be sex involved in that, it's not relevant. The reason he's done this and stayed in relationships of 3 is in order to keep himself financially secure. To hang on to hope that he will always be financially secure and have physical value. That is why he has been in these wheels of 3. It's to hang on to this hope for financial growth, financial abundance, and physical security. That is why he's been there, but that's come to an end. This is past intervals, which implies that it's closing now, and that's probably terrifying for him. It's probably causing his entire identity to collapse. So his present interval is number 13. So strange how this thing is beeping so much. I'm going to mute it. Okay, so number 13, death. It's talking about grievous injury or even physical death. Not necessarily for him, but it means that he is experiencing a rebirth in his life, a rebirth in his entire way of living and his entire lifestyle as a result of a grievous injury. And that could be an emotional injury, it could be a physical injury, or it could be that someone close to him has died. It could even be the end of a very strong, tight relationship, which is kind of congruent with this 3 of discs. In fact, it's probably one of them in the circle that has suffered. And it's created a whole new way of living and a whole new lifestyle for him, and it's been terrifying and difficult, and his whole tower and identity has collapsed. But that's fine, it's good. When the identity collapses, we build it back stronger. It's unfortunate that he's had to experience it in this way, but the fact that he's had to experience it this way it's saying that he held on to it even when it was negative and unhealthy to hang on to it. The identity, I mean. Even after becoming aware of his insecurities, he hung on to his identity and made justifications for his insecurities until the universe had to intervene and cut it away. So he had no choice except to rebuild it. Future intervals, 4 of cups. This card is talking about his opportunities to grow in the present, and that is to take authority over his physical being. His emotional being, not physical being. Cups correspond with emotions. Discs correspond with earth, physical realm. Cups correspond with emotional being. So the 4 of cups is talking about how he needs to take authority over his emotions and stop making his emotions everybody else's problem, and that is how he can move forward towards a healthy future. Will he marry another man? Probably not. Probably not. Yeah. Cards are not saying much else. If he can take authority over his emotional being and stop reacting to his emotions and stop making his emotions other people's problems, and he starts taking responsibility for it himself, then he will reach the future that he desires. And if that future is a future where he desires to marry a man, then so it will be. Only he can choose his future. Just the same way only I can choose my future, and the way only you can choose your future. Sila. Manisha Sharma. I had forgotten about you. I skipped over you. Yes, if you would like to ask your question now, I will go ahead and do your reading for you. Amazing reading, says Angel Fernandez. You're most welcome. And thank you so much for your recognition. If you'd like to give some value back, please... I'm sorry to have struck such an emotional chord. But if you'd like to give something back, please feel free to donate, make a donation. If you can't afford this, liking and subscribing, you've already done that. Thank you very much. Very valuable. Okay. Hey, Rohit22, welcome to the chat. I have a reading for Manisha Sharma next. Her question is, what does Abhishek feel about me? After that will be Unity. Unity, I think you can just ask your question and you'll get to it in order. That's correct, Unity. There is no cue apart from the order in which the question has been asked in. Eurodite Queen has entered the chat. Thank you so much for joining us. I have a reading for Manisha Sharma that I must do next, and then that seems to be the only other question in the queue. After... Yeah, that's right. Manisha Sharma is next. So just for some clarity, guys, this stream is live across multiple platforms. So there are requests coming in from Facebook, from YouTube, from Twitch. I don't have any requests on Twitter, and I can't really see how many viewers I have. The chat box is covering that. But anyway, Manisha is next in line. And after Manisha will be... After Manisha will either be Eurodite Queen or Rohi22. Rohi22 said he wants to join the queue. Please join the queue by asking your question, and I'll get to it in order. So Unity is asking, what aspect of myself should I be putting more effort into, exploring and understanding? Okay, let me just go ahead with Manisha's reading, and then I'll read out the other questions. Which is, what does Abhishek feel about me? Help Manisha to realize the projection of herself that she has been creating for Abhishek. Your past interval is the 7 of the trumps. It is the Chariot. Your present interval is the 10 of Wands reversed. Your future interval is number 17 of the trumps. It is the Star. Okay, so the Chariot is talking about looking at yourself, looking into yourself, and identifying what your desires are and what kind of purpose you want to create for yourself and what future you hope to manifest. And then observing all of the opportunities and the various roads that you can take towards that and choosing it. It's also talking about having multiple desires, having multiple realities that you want to create for yourself, and then choosing the correct order in which to pursue them in order to... Like for me, for example, I would like to be in a reality where I am making music and I'm an artist and so forth and so on. There are all these different things that I want to create for myself, and so I ask myself which is the best route. And so in order of priorities, I've chosen to do these streams and begin content creating, and then that will help fund my music. And my art in the meantime, which is a lifelong project I'm working on, is something I'll just continue to work on in the background. So similar to that, you have been through a period where you've had to choose what is the order of priority in which you're going to chase after your desires, and you've done that. While you're going through this period, your partner or whoever this Abhishek is was watching and observing you go through that, and saw you for that process, recognized you in that process. 10 of Wands in the present. So this is telling me how Abhishek is now doing to you what you've done to him and to others in the past. You have sown intentions, ill intentions, negative intentions towards someone, specifically towards various people, in moments of emotional weakness. I mean, we all do this occasionally. We get emotionally weak and we say nasty things or take nasty actions. We usually regret it. But basically this card is saying that Abhishek has witnessed that, and that has gone around a full circle, and now it's right back in your present, and you're experiencing this negativity that you've sown. You're experiencing it come back to you now, and he is part of that. He is helping to bring it back to you, and that's also out of his own emotional weakness. Yeah, I can only now in this moment try and make him look at himself and see that by doing this he's only perpetuating the cycle so that it comes back to him. Every time that we sow negative intentions, it always comes back. So that's what that card is saying. You're reaping the harvest of the negativity you've sown, and he is the forefront of it. He's the one doing it back to you. Number 17, the star. Oh, this one is very much tied in with your present interval, the 10 of Wands. This one wants to tell you not to let the emotions cause you to act in weakness again, not to lash out again, not to sow negative intentions, because that's just going to come back to you again. It's telling you to channel your emotions, to take a step back. Remember the choices you made in the Chariot card. Remember the priority, the order of priority that you're working on towards creating the future you want. And instead of doing what the emotions are telling you to do, acknowledge the emotions, acknowledge what you want to do because of the emotions, and then choose, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to dedicate the time and this emotional energy towards making the future that I want for myself. That's what that card wants to tell you. Selah. Hopefully this helps. And just another tidbit it wants me to say is that when you do this, when you transmute emotional currents, negative emotional currents, when he comes to you and tries to project his negativity onto you because of you doing it to him in the past, and you don't retaliate, you break the cycle for both of you. You inspire him to do the same thing you're doing. He can see it in you. So when you react negatively, he sees that, he reacts negatively. The one who is most mature is the one who breaks the cycle. So stop waiting for someone else to break the cycle. Take action, break it for yourself. Okay. Erudite Queen was the next one to make a request. Erudite Queen, are you still in the chat? You're not feeling well. And what, do you want to know why you're not feeling well? Do you want to know, you'd like some guidance? Do you want to know how you can take action towards feeling better? After Erudite Queen we have Unity's 00. What aspects of myself should I be putting more effort into exploring and understanding? Okay, we've got one viewer on Facebook, and I'm going to go ahead and assume that that is Erudite Queen, and so I'm going to do a generalized reading for you in this moment. Help your erudite queen understand what she is going through, and help her understand what she needs to do in the present moment. The Nine of Wands is your past interval. Six of Discs is your present interval. Number 12 of the trumps, the Hanged Man, is your future interval, and it is reversed. So the Nine of Wands is talking about how you've just had fiery feelings come up in yourself. This is past interval, so it's something that's closing, something that's ending. You've been experiencing strong passions, whether those be positive or negative. It's all of it. So you had strong desires come up, huge amounts of lust, huge amounts of passion, huge amounts of anger. All of these fiery feelings, you felt them rising up to their fullest, and you didn't know how you were going to let it out or express it. But that's closed. It probably subsided. You probably didn't explode. You probably managed to hold on to it and contain it while it was at its worst until you moved out of that period. The card is not reversed, and this is why I don't think you exploded, because if you had, it would probably not have gone down really well. In the present, Six of Discs, reversed. It's talking about being in a relationship where both of you are doing the best that you can with what you know and with what you have, despite your technological limitations and your physical limitations. You have been doing the best that you could, and now because of this relationship that you're in, you're both giving each other the pieces necessary to get past your previous limits. It's telling me that this relationship has been a struggle. It's been difficult, particularly when it comes to your finances and your physical security. You probably haven't felt very safe in that relationship, but your partner has probably not felt very safe either. It's not a one-way street. Future intervals. This is something that you can seize now to make the future that you want happen. It's telling you to put yourself into a position where you have no choice except to engage your intuition and to engage your creative potential and your intuitive potential. That's what I said, I think. It wants you to put yourself in that situation, even if that situation is difficult, unpleasant, and a challenge. It's going to be necessary. It's going to be necessary in order to get out of this place of feeling low and feeling not well. To get through that, you're going to have to put yourself in a position where you have no choice but to change. No choice but to engage your creative potential and fulfill your creative process. Selah. I hope that resonates with you. I hope it gives you some new perspective on your situation and why you're feeling the way you're feeling and how you can take action towards shifting that feeling. Okay, good evening, Monica Remy. I have several readings lined up behind you, 2 in fact, and then I'll get to you. Just going to make sure that we've still got our viewers in the chat. Yes, we've got Unity00 and Rohit22 in the chat on Twitch. And Unity is asking, what aspect... Hey, glad to see you're still here. What aspect of myself should I be putting more effort into exploring and understanding? Cool. On behalf of Unity, what aspect of myself should I be putting effort into exploring and understanding? So for your past interval, we've got number 18 of the trumps, it is the moon. We've got, in your present, we've got the 3 of discs reversed. In your future intervals, we've got the 4 of wands, also reversed. So number 18 of the trumps tells me how you were presented with opportunities to grow and awaken in the spiritual sense, in the magical sense. But it required that you step through a gate, the gate of the underworld literally, to go through the inner worlds and experience visions and the strangeness of the other side of reality. That you stepped out in faith, and the waters that were adversity and chaos, they parted for you, and you were able to cross through that awakening period relatively safe, and any of the shadows or any of the ill-meaning people or intentions that followed you through that journey got washed away and annihilated by the chaos and adversity you sailed straight through. That's done. In the present, you want to know what you should be working on. This card is telling me that your ability to work with others when it comes to your finances particularly is what you need to change and work on. This card is telling me that you don't have your ability to work with others when it comes to money, just to work together in a system with other people in your financial world has not been, those skills have not been top notch. That this is something you need to work on, your ability to work with others. It's saying that you are in the present trying to work on this, and that you are in a situation where you are working with others, and it's been very difficult for all parties involved. And now I can't say for certain if these other people are good at working with others, but the card is telling you to look at yourself, not at them. If they suck at working with others, that's their business. That's a you problem for them. You need to work on the issues you have and the struggles you have with working alongside other people. Your future interval. This future doesn't happen to you. Future is claimed, and this is the Four of Wands. It is saying that you have desires, and you alone have the authority to realize those desires. And you need to set your intention, choose your intention, and then structure the way that you step into those intentions and the way that you work towards your desires. Structure it in a way that you can follow, that works for you. This planning process, the structuring of your intentions, it's saying this is also something you've got to work on. It's something that you have neglected in the past, and that needs to be fixed, needs to be changed around, because the planning stage is the most important part of realizing your desires and setting your intentions towards obtaining those desires. So a little food for thought. So you've got thoughts up here, you've got plans and ideas, and they stay up there. They're not real until they're put into the physical realm. So the first step you can take towards putting your thoughts into the physical realm is to write them down, to speak them out loud. When you speak them out loud, boom, the sound is affecting the physical world. When you write it down, boom, you've got markings on a physical page representing those thoughts. And that's the first step to take. That's the first way to start changing it around. Taking it out of your mind and letting it come into the physical world. Sila. I hope that resonates with you and gives you some kind of direction, so you know what to be working on. You're most welcome, Unity. If you'd like to give some value back, please feel free to give me a small donation. That would be very appreciated. If you can't and you're not by the means, then a follow, a like, a share, subscribe. Those things are equally as valuable. I'm streaming across platform, so yeah, thank you so much. So Rohit 22 is next. How will November month be for me? Well, let's have a look. Help Rohit 22 recognize the opportunities that exist in this month and how we can seize them. So your past interval is the Ten of Cups. Present interval, number 4 of the trumps, the Emperor. Future interval, 7 of Swords reversed. So, 10 of Cups, that is telling me how last month or several months ago, in the last few months, you have felt your emotions reach their fullness and overflow from you onto the cups around you. And these feelings were not necessarily the most pleasant feelings. Some of them were great, some of those feelings were great and they spilled onto others and blessed them. Some of them were mediocre and they spilled out onto others and didn't affect them much. But that's come to a close. It's really encouraging to hear that those emotions were not negative, that you didn't spill hatred and fear onto the people around you. In your present, you are the Emperor. You are the divine masculine archetype, so your life is your kingdom, and this month is your field, and you need to sow seeds into this field so that they can be reaped as a harvest. They can grow into abundance and resource and can be harvested. So basically what this card is saying that November holds what you want it to hold. November will reap for you what you sow into it now. So this is the 1st of November. Sow seeds of what you want to see by the end of this month. Sow it now, and it will be so. 7 of Swords, that one is reversed. This one is reminding you to take a step back and examine all the different roads that you have, the different paths towards realizing what you want to see out of this month, and contemplate what is going to be the best option for you to take in that regard. Which opportunity you're going to take and where you're going to dedicate your time in order to make the seeds you're planting now happen the way you want them to happen. Sila, thank you so much. It's okay. Lastly, this card is saying that this period of reflection, this taking a step back and reflecting on how you're going to make it happen, is challenging for you. But you must step out into it and do it anyway. Or otherwise you risk missing out on a harvest this month. Sila. Hope that resonates. If you'd like to give something back, feel free to leave me a donation. If you're not by the means to leave a donation, please follow, like and share. Thank you so much. Monica Remy, if you are still in the chat, let me know. You're most welcome, Rohit22. Most welcome. Spirits, please bring my loved one and a message. Greetings. Okay. You are next in line, Monica. Spirit, please bring my loved one and a message. Alright. Let's see how we can word that for the tarot. Show Monica how she can align her vibrations with her true self and her true will, so that she can find true love and healthy relationship. So, your first card, the past interval, is number 16 of the trumps. It's called the Tower. Your present interval is number 17 of the trumps, and it is the Star. Your future interval is number 2 of the trumps, and it is the priestess. You know, it's so rare to get 3 trumps in a 3-card reading, let alone 2 of those trumps being in order, 16 and 17. Pretty fucking incredible. Anyway, so number 16, the Tower, is talking about how you recently became aware of the insecurities in your identity and yourself, and you hated that fact. You hated having to see how insecure your identity was. And in this rage and in this perception, being able to see yourself and your insecurities, the entire identity that was built on those insecurities collapsed. And that is fucking fantastic, by the way, that you were able to see your insecurities and let the Tower fall down. Fucking fantastic. I know it's difficult. I know it's usually quite scary and quite frightening to have that tower collapse, but we have to regularly drop down our towers, because every time we build them on some insecurities that we believe to be true at the time. We believe certain things about ourselves that are not true. We build our identity around that. It is very important that we knock those identities down when we become aware of their insecurities. So you did that, and you've been building a new identity since then. Amazing. Number 17 of the trumps. This card is talking to me about, in the moment, you're learning to direct emotions better. You're learning not to retaliate to emotions. So when you feel emotions in you, particularly negative ones, you are not reacting to it anymore. You're choosing not to react to them and not to listen to what the emotions say, especially when those emotions are negative and they're telling you to do hurtful things to other people. You're choosing to step away from that and to acknowledge it and then direct those emotions towards your purpose and what you want. So when someone comes to you and says something nasty, instead of retaliating, you're taking a step back, and even though you're feeling these resentments and these difficult emotions, you're choosing to act in alignment with what you want for yourself rather than retaliate to the emotion. And that is amazing. Continue with that. That is how you work on yourself. Each time that you do this, each time you step back from the emotions and you choose to act in alignment, it gets easier, and the infections of fear and shame and guilt and resentment and self-believed lies and delusion and pity, each time that you don't react to them, that infection gets smaller and is purged slowly from you and the other people around you. So every time that you do this, you are helping yourself get over that, and you are helping break cycles for them. And the further that you come into alignment with yourself, the closer you're going to be to long-standing healthy relationships. Number 2 of the trumps, the priestess, future interval. So the future doesn't happen to you, you claim the future for yourself. This card is saying to you that there is potential in your present moment that you can reach towards, and that is a potential for abundance, emotional abundance, and physical abundance, just value of all kinds. There are opportunities that you can take right now, many opportunities manifesting in your life that you can choose. However, irrespective of which one you choose, you're going to need to go for long periods of time without fulfillment, without financial fulfillment, and without emotional fulfillment. You need to press through like the camel can endure through the desert. The camel can endure through the desert with little amounts of water. You need to be the same. You need to be enduring and be able to pass through the journey with little fulfillment in your emotional self and with little fulfillment in your financial self before you will realize this potential. But it is there waiting for you at the end of the road. Seize those opportunities and set forward with endurance, and you will have it. If that abundance looks to you like a strong, healthy relationship, then that is what you need to chase after. That's the opportunity you must seize in the present. Selah. This is an incredible spread and an incredible reading. Thank you for the opportunity. If you would like to give some value back, please feel free to donate to me. If you are not by the means, following my page, liking and sharing the video, these are equally as valuable. Thank you so much. It's Opeyemi Tunde, trying to steal people from my thread. So weird. You're most welcome, Monica Remy, most welcome. So Nicola L, welcome to the chat. Nicola L coming from YouTube. I'm a Virgo and my boyfriend Kelvin is a Cancer. Is he lying and hiding anything from me? Will there be a forward movement with us? Or will I be with someone else? Just want to check the chat to see if there are any other readings waiting. Nope. You're next, Nicole. Brilliant. Amazing. I've got one viewer on Twitch. No requests though. I mean, not Twitch, Twitter. I've got a viewer on Twitter. Hey, speaking to my viewer on Twitter, if you'd like a reading, please make a request. Please reply to the video. I will see it. I have the chat open. Epica RSA, just lurking, no stress, that's most welcome. Yeah, just lurking as well. I just want to make sure that everybody knows that you are all welcome to make a request. Harveen Kaur, welcome to the chat. Harveen Kaur, I've got a reading for a Nicola L on YouTube, and then I'll get to you. So I want to say a big thank you to whoever it was that just sent me a donation. This is so valuable. You have no idea how tight finances have been on this end. Thank you so much. Okay, Nicola L. Is your boyfriend lying to you? Is he hiding anything? Will there be forward movement? Okay. Reveal to Nicole Kelvin's true intentions in this relationship. So we have a 3 of Wands as your past interval. We have an 8 of Cups as your present interval. That card is reversed. And as your future interval, we have a 7 of Swords. Okay. So the 3 of Wands talks about hope for your desires. You have desires that you want to see realized in this relationship, and he has desires that he wants to see realized in this relationship, and both of you had hope towards that when this relationship began. Or in the last few months, in the last year, you had hope towards realizing the desires that you both had for this relationship. And you both set intentions towards making that a reality. In the present, however, he is experiencing an adjustment. He's experiencing changes to his emotional being. He feels like certain cups are not being filled in his emotional self, and so in turn he has stopped filling those cups for you. And this is all in the interest of finding some kind of balance between the emotional value that he's giving to the relationship and the emotional value that he's receiving from the relationship. He doesn't really know how to do that in a healthy way. Most of us don't, we're all learning. But basically his emotional being is feeling a lack, an absence. It's feeling an absence of satiety, and he's trying to find ways that he can make changes to himself and to the relationship in order to bring about balance to the emotional inflow and outflow. Future intervals, the 7 of Swords. This is not something that's going to happen to your relationship. It is how you claim the future of your relationship. 7 corresponds with contemplation, and Swords with intuition and purpose. So this card wants you to have a look at all of the options that are in front of you, all of the potential you have, all the possible gates and pathways that you can take towards your purpose. And a little note on purpose is that it's not divinely given to you. If you have a desire in your heart, and you set your will towards accomplishing that desire, that's your purpose. So this wants you to examine what your purpose is going to be, and which road you're going to take towards manifesting it, which purpose you're going to choose. So you have these desires that you want to realize, and you can set your will towards accomplishing any one of them, and in doing so, that is purpose. So that's what this card wants to tell you, to take a step back alongside him, so both of you together, because your relationship is one being. You are one being in the relationship. Both of you together need to take a step back and consider the desires that you want to realize for yourself, and choose a path to reaching that, and set your will towards it. Selah. Once you set your vehicle in motion to reach the end and manifest your desires, nothing will stop it until it arrives at its destination. So, good luck. Best of luck to you. If this reading was valuable to you and you'd like to give some value in return, please feel free to donate. If you're not by the means to do so, then a like, a subscribe, or a share, those things are equally as valuable. Thank you so much. So, let's have a look. Harveen Kaur. One card for my marriage. Meeting a guy this week. Will the talks go further? Cool. I'm just going to give you a single card as you requested. It is number 17 of the trumps. So, in relation to your question, will the talks go further? What this card is telling you is that the talks are going to cause emotions to stir inside both of you. This chat you're going to have, this little date, it's going to cause emotions, positive emotions, lustful emotions, negative emotions, and frustrations. All these things are going to be stirred by this date in both of you. And so it wants to remind you specifically to not retaliate to those feelings. When you feel those things, whether they are painful or pleasant, don't do whatever they're telling you to do. Don't become obsessive. Don't become overbearing. Step in alignment with what you desire. What is the purpose of going to this meeting for you? What do you want to see manifest out of it? So have that in your mind before you even go. And when you feel these emotions and they're telling you to say this or to act in this way, or to get up and go to the bathroom and cry on the toilet, or whatever the emotions inspire you to do, take a step back, look at the emotions, and then choose to act in alignment with the intention you set when you went there. The intention, the desire you want to see realized out of the state, you need to step in alignment and speak in alignment with that, not react to what the emotions are saying. That's what this card is saying. So if you want this relationship to go further, take this advice, choose an intention now, choose that intention that you want it to go further, so that you don't self-sabotage when you're in there and you're feeling these emotions being stirred. Selah. Yes, Malik SB, you can be next. Harveen Kaur, please don't forget to follow, like, and share. And if you're by the means and your cup is overflowing, please don't hesitate to leave me a small donation. It will be very much appreciated. Okay. Gift Malik new perspective in his present circumstances. This is a generalized reading to provide you with a message. Harveen Kaur says, thank you so much, Karin. Loved your reading. Love from India. Will follow you definitely. Thank you so much. And you're most welcome. Okay, so Malik SB, we've got in your past interval, you've got this number 6 of the trumps, the lovers. In your present, you have the 4 of wands. In your future interval, you have number 13 of the trumps, which is death. Don't let that one scare you too much. So, your past interval tells me how you started out in recent times. It's stuff that's happened already, but you started out doing the best that you could. You took a leap of faith. You took what you knew about reality, the knowledge that you have, and you took the resources that you had and you did the best that you could with it. And then you met someone else who was doing the same, who was doing the best that they could with the resources they had and the knowledge that they had, and you guys had a relationship. This doesn't necessarily talk about a romantic relationship, but it could very well be a romantic relationship. But anyway, through this relationship, you both were able to overcome your previous limitations in your resources and your knowledge. They had little tidbits of info that helped you get past your limitations, and you had little tidbits of info that helped them get past their limitations. Bingo, that's past intervals. In the present, you are creating structure to... You have desires and you're creating intentions towards reaching those desires, and you're building a structure and exercising the authority that you have over yourself in order to live in that structure and push your intentions towards realizing your desire, getting them going. Well done, kudos to you. That is where everything starts. When you create your plans and you take steps into realizing your desires and you pursue your intentions, that is the first step towards making your future real. So this future interval, this is talking about grievous injury, emotional injury, physical injury, death. Not necessarily of yourself or anyone close to you, but just death as a principle. So what this card is saying is that in your present moment there is death, there is this injury, this pain, and you need to use that to let go of the old ways of life. You need to take it into perspective, whoever it is, whether it's you who's going through this pain, it could be the end of a relationship. There are actually multiple dimensions to what it's saying. It's saying that there's a lot of death happening in the world at the moment, and it has affected your life and your sphere. It's telling you that the feelings it causes for you, you will only be able to master them if you let go of the old ways of living and the old ways of doing things and dedicate yourself towards creating a new lifestyle and new circumstance, a new state of being. It's also saying that this process you're creating for yourself towards manifesting your desires, that process may very well bring an end to your relationship, which will force your identity to fall, and you will have to build a new identity up from the ground. So, yeah, those are the two warnings that it wants to give you, that death card. Selah. I hope that resonates with you. If you felt this reading was valuable and you'd like to give some value back, please feel free to send me a donation. If you're not by the means to do that, following, liking, and sharing is equally as valuable. Thank you so much. Trencitas 2, Anita Rodriguez. Most welcome, Malik. Thank you. Welcome, Anita Rodriguez. Will my husband be okay with our court case? Trencitas, will R notice my glow up the next time I see him? Your glow up? Okay. Followed and shared, says Malik. Thank you so much. Very much appreciated. Okay. Anita Rodriguez is before you, Trencitas. We have viewers on Twitch, on Twitter, on Facebook, and on YouTube. So you are in line after Anita Rodriguez on Facebook. Okay. Help Anita and her husband understand how they can move seamlessly through this court case with minimal casualty. Okay, so your past interval here is the Knight of Wands. Your present interval is the Seven of Swords. Your future interval is the Six of Cups. Okay. So this past interval is telling me how you guys have had certain desires that you want to manifest into your reality, that you wanted to manifest into reality, and you had intentions towards making that happen, but certain events arose that killed that. It killed those intentions, shut those desires down, and yeah, just created a whole collapse of that intention entirely. And it was disappointing and it was shocking, but it also presented the opportunity to begin sowing seeds towards better, more aligned desires and setting stronger, more healthy intentions towards reaching them. That's past intervals, so that's things you just went through. Seven of Swords. This is talking about in the moment you have there are multiple pathways that you can take towards the outcome of this court case. There are multiple options, let's say, that you can choose to dedicate time and effort towards that will impact the result of the court case. And this card is telling me that you guys are sitting in the moment and you're contemplating all of these and you're trying to make sense of which route is the best route. And your future interval, which is the Six of Cups, it links in nicely with that. It is saying that that you guys have some emotional limitations. The way that you handle your emotions is going to put a limitation on these options that you have. So once you've chosen the direction, that direction should be regarding, it should take into consideration how your emotions affect you. And honestly, it wants you to find a solution where you can build some kind of relationship with the defendant or whatever's going on with this court case, some kind of interaction or relationship being developed. That is going to be the best route with the least emotional resistance. And through creating this relationship, you can have the best outcome from the court case. And not more than that, you can also evolve. Both of you can evolve in your emotional limitations. So until this point, you've been doing the best that you can with your emotions and what you're feeling, based on what you know and what you have at your disposal. Reaching out to your whoever it is, whatever is going on, reaching out to the defendant or the prosecutor, the actual client, not the lawyer, and trying to engage in a relationship with them, that's going to help you overcome your emotional limits, and it's also going to be the best route towards the least damaging outcome. This is a challenge, this is difficult. Making this, to reach out and establish this relationship, is going to be met with resistance. It's going to be difficult, but it's a challenge you must overcome if you want to minimize casualties from this court case. It was a little bit difficult for me, that reading, but I hope it gives you some clarity and helps you move forward, helps you and your husband move forward. Selah. So, let's have a look. Trencitas on YouTube is next. Athena 2021. Welcome to the chat, welcome back. How have I been? Been really well. Actually, that's a lie. Today I've been struggling with my emotions, to be honest. But I've been choosing to act in alignment with my purpose and not react to my emotions. And there, Anita Rodriguez says, thank you so much. You're most welcome. So Athena 2021, you are most welcome to join the queue. Transitas 2 from YouTube is next in line, and then I'll get to you. So Anita, if that reading was valuable to you and you'd like to give something back, please feel free to send me a small donation. If you're not by the means, which I will totally understand, a like, a follow, and a share, these things are equally as valuable. Thank you so much. Okay, there's no queue to join, I'm afraid, Athena. I don't really know how Twitch works all that well yet. Still figuring things out, doing the best that I can with what I know and with what I have. So basically, as soon as you ask me a question, you join the queue. And I will get to you in order. Thank you so much. I hope that you do as well, Anita. Transitas 2, are you still in the chat? Because I'm ready to do your reading. Please let me know, because my restream is not showing me any viewers on YouTube. So if you're in the chat, please let me know. I'm going to move on to Athena 2021. Yes, please, Athena. You can drop your question now and I'll get to it. It looks like Transitas 2 left the chat. Yeah, excuse me, I'm just having a look at what's going on in my Discord server, because I recently posted the join invite link on Discord, so it's publicly available to anybody, and the people who have come in since doing that have been nasty individuals, causing a lot of mayhem in the server. So just checking to make sure that they're not causing any trouble. Here we go. So I would like to know about my future partner. What will he be like? I'm single and never had a relationship. Never. Okay, Athena, so I used to be very active in Discord, now not so much. Oh, interesting. But anyway, as I was going to say, your reading, I'm not going to ask specifically about your future partner, because let me tell you that your future partner is going to reflect you. Your future partner is going to it's going to be your counterpart. Every relationship that you go through, you're going to interact with your counterparts. And so the best thing you can do is work on yourself until you are full and healthy, so that you will have a full and healthy partner. I'm going to ask the tarot. Which aspects of you do you need to develop and adjust in order to allow this relationship, in order to open yourself up to healthy, long-lasting, magical relationship? Because, I mean, the minute that I was able to be full in myself and satisfied in myself and not so concerned with whether or not I'd ever have a relationship again, then suddenly the most beautiful relationship I could ever have asked for manifested pretty much fucking instantly. So which aspects of Athena can she develop in order to open herself up to a healthy, long-standing relationship? Your past interval is the Two of Wands. Your present interval is number 16 of the trumps, the Tower. Your future interval is number 18 of the trumps. It is the Moon. Okay. So, this Two of Wands it tells me that recently you were presented with potential and opportunities to manifest the desires that you have for yourself. There was a potential to grab hold of the future, a future where you had what you desired, and you had to pass through a gateway, and you had to acknowledge your own endurance. You had to choose to be enduring, being able to go without fulfillment if you were going to step out and seize that potential, seize that opportunity. And you did. The card is not reversed, so it tells me that you did seize it, you reached out for it. And as a result of that, because that is now closed, and you're in the present moment, where we're looking at we're looking at number 16 of the trumps, and in this card you have been made aware of your own insecurities. You saw yourself clearly, and you were vengeful and angry and hateful towards your insecurities and the negative aspects of your identity. And basically this rage consumed your whole identity until there was no sense of self anymore. And this is healthy. It brought you right to the end where you wanted to end it all, as you said. But I want to just point out that this is something we have to do periodically. We have to look at ourselves periodically and identify the negative aspects of our identity and the insecurities that our identity is founded on. Those insecurities are things about ourselves that we believe that are not true. So we have to consistently destroy this tower and allow our vengeance and our hatred of our own weaknesses and insecurities to consume the identity. We have to allow it to happen regularly. And each time we can build a new identity that are based around solid truths, solid facts about ourselves and who we are and what kind of value we have. So you've been through this, you're busy going through it now, your identity is collapsing, and that's good. Let it fall down completely, let go of the old identity, and begin founding a new one, founded on top of solid facts about yourself and solid facts about the worth that you have and the value you have to give. Future. Now, this isn't a future that's going to happen to you. It's a future you must claim by seizing potential and opportunities in the present moment. So, it's the moon, and it's number 18 of the trumps. It's talking about, again, a gateway that you can step through. And this gateway is particularly regarding the inner worlds and magic and dream worlds and visions and all of that strange mystical stuff that doesn't really make any sense until you've been there and you've been in it. So there's a gateway that you're passing through now, or that you have the potential to pass through. Well, not really. You don't really have much of a choice. This tower collapse is pushing you through that gateway. And it looks scary. It looks like there's a sea on the other side that's ready to drown you in discord and chaos and turbulence. But as you step through it, as you push through this gate, you will find that those waters part for you, and you're able to cross through unscathed and safely. And all of the shadows of trauma and all of the ill-meaning people who have been coming against you in your life, they might try and follow you through this gate and follow you into magical awakening and spiritual awakening and mystical awakening. And the currents of those seas, the emotions, the terrible, difficult emotions that you have been experiencing, they will not be able to endure it. Your opposers will drown in the things that you've been able to swim through. Selah, we pause to contemplate the magnitude of what was revealed. And as you do this, as you pass through the sea and you build a new identity founded on solid truths, you will encounter other people and potential romantic partners who have been through that and who are healthier because of it. So keep your eye open and focus on developing yourself and getting through this difficulty that you're going through, and you will come out stronger and you will come out healthier. Focus on getting through what you're going through. Let the old identity collapse. Let that broken person fall apart, because people are never going to be the same as you. But people who have been through the same things you have been through and have endured through it, those people you can be sure are healthier and stronger for it. You don't want someone who's the same as who you are now. No. If they are toxic, it's a reflection of you. Get through this gateway. Let this tower collapse push you through this gateway. It may feel like you're going to drown, but push forward. Let the tower collapse. Let go of the old and push forward and build your new identity based on things that you know are true about yourself, that are good and healthy and strong. Sila. Beggars can't be choosers, Athena. You're most welcome for the reading. Okay, so we've got Tatton Barlow. Hey, hey, hope you're well today. Thank you very much. I am getting there. I hope you're doing well today. Rihanna F. Faisdeen. I am keen to hear a message. Please read one for me. Please read a message for me. Please read a message for me. How many more times do you want to say that? Lol. Rupali Khanna. May I ask? Hello, may I ask? Will Mayank express his feelings towards me? Any time frame? Okay, so we have got Rihanna, who is next for a reading. I am keen to hear a message. Please read one for me. Are you still in the chat, Rihanna? Because if you have a specific question, please drop your question. Tatton Barlow, I have been struggling today, if I must be honest. I have managed to keep a consistent flow of energy since I got up this morning. I made some amazing food and I got the kitchen all clean and banished all the stagnant energy, and I'm right here giving readings. So I've been able to keep a consistent flow, but it's been a challenge for me. I've been having moments of some really overwhelming emotions, and this is mainly due to like nicotine withdrawal. If you hadn't noticed, I haven't smoked anything since I've been online. That's just mostly due to an absence of any tobacco. It's running low, so I'm trying to cut it down, and that, yeah, it's been difficult. Vanessa Motian. Hi, love and light. I would like to know what is going on with my hubby. Thanks, God bless. So I'm waiting to hear from Rihanna, who spammed me with the same message repeatedly. If she's still in the chat, she is next for a reading. And yeah, if she can just let me know that she's still in the chat, she'll get a reading. Otherwise, we're going to move on to Rupali Khanna. After Rupali Khanna, we have a Kimi Mini. Kimi, you need to ask a question, and yeah, so that I know that you're in the chat and ready for a reading. But these people, these YouTube viewers, they come in, they make a request while I'm busy with another reading, and then they disappear before I get to them. So Rupali Khanna, if you're still in the chat, please let me know so that I can do your reading for you. Otherwise, I'm just going to move on to Vanessa. Yeah, moving on to Vanessa. Alright. Rupali Khanna is here, so Rupali gets his reading first. Will Mayank express his feelings towards me any time frame? Vanessa. Yes, I was asking Rupali Khanna if he was here. Kimi Mini, I would like to ask on what should I do to improve my relationship with my boyfriend. So these two viewers coming in from YouTube were here before you, Vanessa, and so they are next in line. Rupani is first and then Kimi. Will Mayank express his feelings towards me any time frame? The tarot is not going to give you a time frame, and the tarot is probably going to tell you not to wait for him. But anyway, let's go ahead. Reveal the true intentions of the individual called Mayank and his feelings towards Rupali. Your first card, your past interval, is the Three of Wands. Your present interval is the Ten of Discs. Your future interval is number 2 of the trumps. It is the Priestess reversed. Okay, so Three of Wands is talking about hope. It's talking about him having desires that he wants to realize, that he wants to see happen, and he has hope and he has intentions to make that hope real. This card is sitting in the past, and this hope is specifically regarding the feminine, which is probably you, Rapali. It's sitting in the past, which means that it's come to a close. In the present, he is experiencing a full cycle in his financial world and his physical security. So he sowed seeds into his life and made investments towards his financial future, and that has gone through a full cycle, and it's now in his present, and he has to harvest it. He has to reap the harvest, and that's what he's doing right now in his present moment. The seeds and the investments he's made have come back round into his present, and he's harvesting it. He's dedicating his intentions to making sure that that flow comes into his life, that he doesn't miss out on the things that he sowed and invested towards in the past. So here in the future position we have number 2 of the trumps, the Priestess, and this card is all about potential. It's about a gateway towards potential. The future is not something that happens to you, it's something that must be seized and taken. So there are opportunities in your present and in his present towards great value. That value is emotional value and physical value and spiritual value, value of all kinds, and abundance of all kinds is through this gateway. But stepping through this gateway is a challenge, and it's difficult. And more than that, it requires that you have endurance to go for long periods of time without emotional fulfillment and without financial fulfillment. So to answer your question, when is he going to express his feelings? Probably never. He had feelings and he had intentions to express them, but he has become very focused on his finances and his physical environment. He's very focused on the process that he's doing now with his career and his business and all of that kind of money reality. His mind is all very much focused on that. And so you have an opportunity that you can seize. You can express to him how you feel, and you can reach out to him, but to do so is going to be a challenge. It's going to be difficult for you to acknowledge that the ball is in your court, and you're going to have to be prepared to go for long periods without emotional fulfillment from him, without response from him, because he is so very much caught up in what he's doing right now. And yes, that's what the cards have to say about it. Selah. Thank you so much. Hope it resonates. Hope it gives you some kind of understanding of what's going on in his head and how you can move forward. Kimi Mine, I would like to ask on what I should do to improve my relationship with my boyfriend. Tayton Barlow, I feel you on the struggle, as at the moment I am in recovery mode from emergency hospital surgery a month ago to remove 2 strangulated hernias in 4 days. Yikes. Rihanna says, please read a message for me. Rihanna, I think you were in the chat earlier and then I asked you if you were still here and you took quite a while to respond. But since you're back, it means that you are ahead in the line. Kimmy is after you if the order is to be maintained properly. So please ask me a specific question. You don't have to. Sorry, I worded that wrong. If you have a specific question, I can answer it. Otherwise, I'll just do a general reading for you. Okay. Grant Rihanna new perspective on her present reality. Okay, so your past interval is number 11 of the trumps, and it is called lust. Your present interval is the Princess of Swords. Your future interval is number 8 of the trumps, and it is called adjustment. Okay. So, this past interval is talking about the intensity of desires. It's talking about how the intensity of our desire is where we find the strength to achieve them. It's in the place of the past, so it's something that you have been through. You have felt this intensity of energy in your desire. You want to manifest something, and you find strength in that desire. It was uncomfortable for you having this intense want and not realizing that the strength to make your desire real lies in the desire itself. So not realizing that, not taking action, it made the experience of that desire quite painful and uncomfortable. But that is coming to a close. In the present, you feel like there is adversity and chaos closing in around you, almost as if you're trapped at the top of a burning building with nowhere to go, and the flames are just getting closer and closer. This card is from the suite of the swords, and the swords correspond with purpose and thoughts and intuition, and the princess wants to remind you that you have creative power, and you can use your creative power, you can engage your creative potential, and start creating something towards your purpose, start creating your purpose, creating your future, because the desire of your heart, setting your will to accomplish the desire of your heart and creating systems to get there, creating art that helps move you towards it, creating business, whatever it is, when you exercise your creative potential towards realizing your purpose, to realizing your desire, that is purpose. So your creativity can give you wings that can set you free from that burning building. You can fly off of that burning building with your creative potential. You can escape the adversity and the chaos that you feel is closing in around you by engaging your creative potential and creating something for yourself, creating something in alignment with the desires you wish to see realized for yourself. Number 8 of the trumps, adjustment, in the position of the future. Now I want to mention that the future is not something that will happen to you. The future is something that you claim for yourself. So this card wants you to take a look at yourself. The woman in this card, she's blindfolded. which indicates that she's looking inside. She doesn't need to see the environment. She's looking into her own inner worlds and examining herself. So this card is telling you that in order to obtain the future that you desire, you need to look at yourself, and you need to realize where you need to let go of old habits and old ways of doing things, the adjustments and changes you need to make within yourself in order to find balance between your income and your expense. And that income can be financial income, that income can be emotional income and emotional value, and then the output. There has to be a balance between the income and the output. And there are certain things about yourself that you should adjust and make changes to, certain habits you need to let go of, and new healthy habits you need to develop, particularly regarding your creative potential, habits of creation, and that will help you move into that balance that you obtain through those changes, will help you step into the future that you wish for yourself. Selah. Thank you very much. Hope it resonates. Next we have Kimi. Kimi. It's Kimi. Yeah. I'm saying it weird, but I don't know why. Wants to know how she can improve her relationship with her boyfriend. That is a very healthy question. I'm glad that it resonates with you, Rihanna. If you'd like to give some value back in return for this reading, please feel free to make a donation. If you can't afford a donation and your cup is not overflowing, please a like, a follow, and a share is equally as valuable. Thank you so much. Alison Dunn. Hello from England. I'm new here. Please may I have a relationship reading? We're not dating, just messaging. Does he want to date me at all? Okay, so Alison Dunn, we've got Kimi Mini ahead of you in the queue. Kimi Mini on YouTube, who wants to know how to improve her relationship with a boyfriend, and that's the reading I'm about to do. You're next. I think you're next. Let me just check the chat so that I'm not speaking out of turn. That is correct. Alison Dunn is after Kimi Mini. Help Kimi understand how she can improve her relationship with her boyfriend. Past intervals. This is the Knight of Discs. Present intervals. It is number 0 of the trumps. It is the Fool, reversed. The Knight of Discs is also reversed. Future intervals. Number 14 of the trumps. I don't think I forgot about you, Vanessa. Did I really forget about you? If I have, my mistake. In that case, you are ahead of Alison Dunn, but I feel quite certain that I gave you a reading already. Perhaps I'm mistaken. Number 14 of the trumps, art, reversed. You're right, I have forgotten about your reading. Okay, let me finish this one that I'm doing now for Kimi, and then I will get on with yours. So sorry about that. Please excuse me. I need to set up some kind of queue, but that's really difficult when I'm doing cross-platform streaming. Okay, so Kimi, your past interval, the Knight of Discs, is telling me how you've recently gone through a rebirth in your financial world. The way that you used to handle your finances and the way that you used to earn an income, it has fallen away. It's died, and you've had to find new ways, a new way to earn an income. You've had to start developing a new financial reality, and that has led you to the present moment where you're taking a leap of faith in that interest. So, yeah, this death and rebirth in your finances and your physical reality, this impacted your relationship quite intensely. There were probably fights about money and what's the next step forward and how you're going to secure one another. And so you've had to take a leap of faith towards creating this new means of income for yourself. It has been a challenge, it's been difficult, and you probably were met with some resistance from your boyfriend as you did it. So in this card I see that fear is biting the fool as he's leaping forward, taking this leap of faith. But he looks straight ahead. He doesn't let the fear that's biting into his leg stop him. Yeah, there are rings that are around him, and there are symbols of life and rebirth and transformation in each ring. So it's telling me how you're going to go through cycles here on out, and you have been going through cycles. And when the cycle begins, there's difficulty and there's resistance, but at the end of the cycle there's transformation and there's growth and there's rebirth. And you'll go through another cycle, and each time the growth and rebirth is going to be bigger until there's a balance, and you no longer have to go into the dips where there's absence. Future interval number 14 of the trumps, art, reversed. This is telling me what you can change in your relationship now that is both beneficial to the relationship itself and to your financial reality, is to co-create with your boyfriend. To actually bring him into whatever it is that you're doing and whatever you're leaping towards here in this Fool card. You're taking a leap of faith towards creating this new reality. So bring him into it. Bring him into that, whatever it is you're doing, and co-create with him and with whatever it is he's doing. Create time for one another's journeys when it comes to your finances, and not only your finances but your spiritual journeys as well. Interact so that you can co-create with one another's journey. It's going to be difficult, it's going to be a challenge, there's going to be resistance when he needs you, it's going to be difficult, it's going to feel triggering, and when you go to him, it's going to be triggering for him. And so this co-creation is not going to happen instantly, but to put the desire out there and to make efforts towards it will pay off. It will pay off in these cycles. As you go through each cycle, you find more transformation. So the cycle will start out, yes, you tried to do this thing, boom, it got shut down, difficult, resistance. But then as the cycle completes, there's transformation for you both. Selah. I hope that helps you. Next we have Allison, and then, Vanessa, and then Allison. Excuse me, Allison. I had forgotten about Vanessa. I had seen her message, but I thought that I'd gotten to her, and I hadn't. So Kimmy, if that reading was valuable to you and you'd like to give back, feel free to send me a donation. Any small amount is very helpful, but I understand if your cup is not full enough for that at the moment, in which case a like and a share, a subscribe, these things, very valuable, equally as valuable as a donation, in fact. Thank you. You're most welcome. So Vanessa wants to know what's going on with her husband. Orima Khan, if you have a question, please mention it in the chat and I will get to you in order. Hopefully I won't forget again, won't neglect or skip. No problem, Kimmy, and thank you so much. Liked and subscribed. Thank you so much. Okay. Help Vanessa understand the emotional and psychological influences that are affecting her husband's energy and reality. So your past interval here is number 7 of the trumps, that's the Chariot. Your present interval is the 7 of Swords. Your future interval is the Princess of Discs. Okay, Rima Khan, general reading for you. That'll happen right after Alison's reading, who is next, and then yours. So, Vanessa, your husband has just come out of a period where he's been looking at what he wants for himself and what he wants for his life, and he's been looking at all the various ways that he can achieve it. All the different pathways he can set out on towards realizing that reality for himself. He's just been through that, and he's just recently chosen it, and he's just set his chariot in motion. He's just set his vehicle in motion towards reaching the desire and the purpose that he wants to manifest. In the present, he is again contemplating how he can develop his intuition, and he wants to understand what he needs to change about his thought processing, because he's probably noticed that there are certain processes that are going on in his mind that shut down whatever it is that he's set his chariot to accomplish. So he chose a direction to set his life to go towards, and then he's realized that there are thoughts that come up that derail that process. So he's re-examining his thoughts, and he's trying to focus on creating a healthier thought pattern and develop his intuition so that he can separate paranoia and fears from intuition. So that's where he is right now. He's examining his intuition, trying to identify what is intuition and what is not. He's also trying to identify which thought processes are getting in the way of him realizing his goals, and which are healthy, and trying to develop new thought processes that help him get closer to the future and the reality he is manifesting. In the position of his future is the Princess of Discs, and this is an opportunity that's right in front of him that he can seize. This reading, I don't know if he's watching this stream with you, but if not, then I would suggest taking this little piece of information to him and just gently mentioning it. But what this card wants to say is that there is potential for him to use his creative abilities, whatever it is, whatever he's good at when it comes to his creative abilities, whatever creative potential he has. Taking advantage of that, he will find that he can apply his creativity towards this reality that he's manifesting. That his creative potential is very much in alignment with what he's creating for himself and for his family. It's a potential, it's an opportunity that he needs to grab hold of in order to make that future real. He needs to take his creative potential and use it in this interest. Selah. If the reading is valuable to you, Vanessa, feel free to send me a donation. If you are not by the means, please don't hesitate to follow, like, and share. Those things are equally as valuable. Thank you so much. So, the man that has been messaging me for a while, he has been going through a dark place emotionally, blows hot and cold. It's confusing me, but we do have a strong spiritual pull to each other. What's to become of us? Become a couple? Okay, Alison Dunn. Thanks a mil, says Vanessa. Will do. Thank you so much. And you are most welcome. I'd like to just have a look quickly what how long I've been online. Okay, cool. So I've been online 2.5 hours. I'm only going to be online for another half hour, guys. Yeah. Alison, your reading is coming up. I'm going to reword your question a bit. Let's see. Reveal to Alison the truth about this relationship. Reveal it and all of its unseen variables with clarity. So, your past interval is the 9 of Wands reversed. Your present interval is the 10 of Wands. Your future interval is the Knight of Wands. Lots of wands. Lots of desires and intentions and passions. Okay, so when this relationship began, there were intentions and desires, and they were evolving towards their fullness. Seeds were sown towards manifesting those desires and making them real, and intentions were set and followed with passion. However, these hot and cold blowouts, they're detrimental to the relationship, they're detrimental to you, they're unhealthy. Let me just say that clearly, they're unhealthy, it's toxic behavior. 10 of Wands, in your present, this is where it's led to, so we had 9, all of these things were growing and building up. Now, in the present, all of those seeds that were sown are being harvested. Right now is where the relationship shifts. It either evolves into a couple, a relationship, or it turns into something else. So all of the seeds and intentions that were set in the relationship are now coming to their fullness. So you now can reap your harvest. You can reap what you set out to create. Just communicate it and it will happen. Alternatively, start sowing seeds towards new intentions and new outcomes so that you can harvest them when they do come into their fullness. Future interval. So this card is not about a future that's going to happen to you, it's about a future that you can claim. And this card wants to suggest that these intentions and these desires that were set, that we saw in the first card, that they die, that you kill them and let them go. So that you can sow new seeds into the present and rebirth your intentions and your desires. So that whatever you set then, let that die, birth new desires, set new intentions towards those desires. That's what your future interval is recommending to you. Thank you so much. Hope this resonates and gives you some clarity. If the reading is valuable and you'd like to return some value, please feel free to donate. If you cannot, please like, follow, and share. Thank you so much. You should perhaps let go of the idea of a romantic relationship. You can be there to help him grow, help him find fulfillment, and not just abandon him. But the intentions that you had when you went into this relationship should be that you should let go of them. The desires that you had when you went into the relationship, you should let go of them. In order to find a healthy future for yourself, that's what your future card recommends. Sila. So, Rima Khan, you would like a general reading. Here we go. General reading for Rima Khan. thank you so much. Blessings, love and healing to you in return, and much abundance and prosperity. Luna Lena. Hello, can I do a question? I am from Spain and I don't understand much English speak. Can you write the answer in chat, please? Thanks. No, that is not going to work. I'm sorry, but that's not how this works. Rima is next in line anyway. Grant Rima Khan new perspective on his present situation. Luna Lena, feel free to DM me and to book a private reading, which I can do in text, but not on live. Sorry. Okay. Shital Gopani, hello and welcome to the chat. So, Rima Khan, your past interval is number 9 of the trumps. It is the Hermit. Number 11 of the trumps is your present interval, Rima. It is called Lust. Number 8 of the trumps is your future interval. So, Shital Gopani, I am busy with a reading for Rima Khan, and then I will get to you. Thank you for your patience. So Rima Khan, your past interval is talking about how you went through a period of self-reflection. You closed yourself away, you stopped engaging in social activities, you stopped leaving the house. It was a short period, but you isolated and you looked into yourself and you examined what aspect, you re-examined why you're alive. You re-examined what you're doing here on earth, and you followed on the inside. You looked for your creative potential and where you wanted to go. Following the light of your own intuition, you went on a soul-searching journey to find what you're doing here and why you're even here. It was a painful process and it was detrimental to you. The longer you stayed in this place of hermitage and isolation, the more your reality collapsed around you. But you did a lot of shadow work and you dealt with a lot of traumas from your past that were influencing your present. And you came to a conclusion on who you are and what you need to do with your life. So kudos to you for that. Well done. It's in the past. You've come through. In your present, we have the 11 of the trumps called Lust. This card is talking about the strength that exists in your desire. So you have a desire that you want to manifest, and you have this vision of how you can manifest that desire. Now find inspiration and find strength to accomplish that desire within the desire itself. Let that desire motivate you and push you forward. Let that jealousy that comes out of the idea of not having it push you forward. When people tell you you'll fail, let that inspire you to prove them wrong and push forward. Your future card, which is the number 8 of the trumps, Adjustment, it is reversed, and your future won't happen to you. Your future has to be claimed, and you have to push towards making it real for yourself and take actions and steps towards it. This card wants to remind you of, it wants to give you a little bit of information and open a doorway of potential towards the future that you desire. So it wants to remind you that there are certain habits that you have and certain behaviors that you have, and there are ways that you interact with your environment and with people that will get in the way of you having this desire that you want. So it is suggesting that you take a very hard look at yourself and let go of those habits and those ways. Cut them off, make changes to yourself, identify who you need to become in order to realize the reality that you want for yourself, and slowly make changes to yourself until you are balanced, until there's a balance between you and that ideal aspect, so that your desires can flow into your reality. The future is not something that you're heading towards. Your future is something that you're grabbing and pulling towards you slowly, bringing it into your present piece by piece, change by change. Selah. So Shital Gopani is next. A reading regarding financial security. That reading that I just finished now was Rima Khan. So Rima Khan, if that reading was valuable to you and you'd like to give some value back, feel free to donate. Alternatively, you can also follow, like, and share. That's equally as valuable. So, help Shital understand how he or she can manifest financial security for himself or herself. Your past interval is the Five of Cups. Your present interval is the Six of Wands. Reversed, both of them are reversed so far. Your future interval is the Nine of Wands, and it is also reversed. So, this Five of Cups, your past interval, it's talking about how you have been doing the best that you can with what you know and with what you have, but there are limitations in your, there have been limitations in your emotional self. You have felt despair and depression and lack of hope, hopelessness. You have felt like your cups are not being filled, and this has made it very difficult to step towards creating financial security for yourself. It has been very hard for you to actually take steps when all the time you're feeling these oppressive emotions, and they have been very limiting. And despite that, you still were doing the best that you could. Based on those limitations, you were doing the best that you could. However, that's come to a close, because in the present you are in a relationship, or you've just got into a relationship, and this doesn't necessarily mean romantic relationship, but it probably is talking about a romantic relationship. But anyway, through this relationship you are learning things from this partner, and this partner is learning things from you, and you're finding ways to break the limits that you had before. Each of you, as a result of this relationship, is pushing through the limits that you had before, and you're reaching towards your desires and setting intentions to manifest your desires, each of you, separately and together. And because of this, you're breaking the barriers that were in your life beforehand. It has been difficult, this relationship has been uncomfortable, and these changes that you've had to make and that they've been making, and this evolutionary process, it has been difficult and challenging, but you're sticking to it and you're evolving through it, and it's very healthy. It brings you closer to your desires as you work together with this person, and you set intentions towards your desires. In your future interval, which is not a future that will happen to you, this is advice on how you can seize potential in the moment to create the future that you want, and that future being financial stability. So, this card, Nine of Wands reversed, It wants you to remember not to let intense, passionate feelings well up and spill out onto your partner, onto the people that you interact with as you move towards creating your future. So things like resentments, strong resentments, passionate anger, lust, lust for money, lust for sexual gratification, all of these things are going to well up, and they're difficult to deal with. But if you allow them to spread from your mouth and affect your partner or affect the people that you have to interact with in order to bring financial security into your life, it's going to sabotage those efforts. This card just wants to remind you to not allow them to spill out and sabotage your efforts. Rather keep it contained. The process, that welling up, it will pass. Those feelings will settle as you move towards your objective. And also, it also wants to remind you that each time that you hold back and you don't retaliate to the emotions you're feeling, each time that you do this will get easier than the last. The infections that are anger and lust and whatever other passionate, fiery feelings negative feelings are always infections. They're infections that are in the energy body. So every time that you don't react to them and you don't lash out or let it spill out and hurt people, every time that you do that, you purge the infection little by little, and not only from yourself, but from the people around you as well. Selah. I hope this resonates, and I hope it gives you some idea of how you can move forward towards your financial security. Having a look to see who's next in line. Lanice Swan. I would love a reading concerning my neighbor, Mr. C. Will we meet again? Okay. I will give you that reading. Thank you, Sheetal. If the reading was valuable to you and you'd like to give something back, please feel free to send me a small donation. That will be ever so valuable to me. If you're not by the means, however, please a like, a follow, and a share is equally as valuable. Thank you so much. Okay, Lanice is next. I'm going to adjust your question a little bit, Lanice. Ah, yes. Now that you mention it, I have seen the notification that said Sheetal Gopani followed you. Thank you so much. So Lanice, I'm going to change your question a little bit. Will we meet again? You see, that kind of question is entirely up to you. That is entirely up to you. So I'm going to ask the tarot to reveal to you ways that you can develop your relationship with this neighbor. And you're most welcome, Sheetal Gopani. Most welcome. Thank you. Andrea Atienza, welcome to the chat. I'm about to do a reading for Lanice. Okay, so reveal to Lanice how she can develop and grow this new relationship that is formed with her neighbor, Mr. C. Your past interval is the Ace of Wands. Your present interval is the Nine of Wands. Andrea Atenza, you can be on the list. That would make you next in line. 8 of discs is your future interval, Lenise. So, your past interval describes how you communicated first. And you communicated your desires, you communicated your intentions, and this manifested into a pleasant interaction and a valuable conversation and the beginning of a valuable relationship, particularly in alignment with your desires and intentions that you had spoken and communicated. In the present, you're experiencing strong, passionate feelings well up as a result of that communication and that interaction. Strong feelings of frustration, strong feelings of lust, strong, passionate feelings. All of these things are welling up in you, about to reach their fullness. Feels like they're going to you're going to explode, but you're not going to explode. Those feelings, they were going to reach their fullness and they're going to settle down. It's not, as long as you don't project it and make it anyone else's problem, it's not going to be detrimental to you and you will get through it. Future interval. This one, your future doesn't happen to you, your future is realized. You take steps towards making your future happen. So the 8 of discs here is a piece of advice to help you reach for that future. And it is saying that if you want this future, if you want some kind of healthy, strong relationship to form out of this interaction with Mr. C, whoever Mr. C is, you need to examine the way that you handle your finances, the way you handle your resources. So food is one of those resources, money is one of those resources, technology, all of your physical value and your physical resources. You need to examine the way that you use these things and make adjustments to unhealthy habits so that you can have balance in yourself. If you can't do this, then try as you might, the relationship that you want is not going to manifest into your future, into your present. It's always going to stay a distant thing in the future that you want to reach for and are reaching for, but it's always going to be in the future. If you can make these adjustments to your habits, particularly negative habits, and you can find some kind of balance between income and expense in your own material reality, you bring it that much closer to yourself. You bring the opportunity for that relationship closer to your present. Selah, we pause to contemplate the magnitude of what was revealed. Thank you for joining us today. Please donate, please like, please follow, please subscribe. These things are very helpful to me. Entirely optional, but very, very much appreciated. Thank you. So Andrea Atenza, you are next in line. Do you have a question that you'd like answered, or do you want just a general reading? You're most welcome, Lenise. So I just want to say that I'm only going to be online for another 10 minutes. How can you improve your relationship with your daughter, with your girlfriend? Oops. Shows you what's on my mind. Okay. Help Andrea, it is Andrea. Help Andrea understand how she can improve her relationship with her girlfriend. Or if it's a he, help him understand how he can improve his relationship with his girlfriend. He or she. Past interval, 7 of discs. Present interval, number 5 of the trumps. Future interval, 8 of cups. Okay, so this 7 of discs is telling me how she has had to take a long hard look at herself and choose what she actually wants to do, when it comes to physical security and financial security. She's had to observe all of the pathways in front of her towards obtaining those things for herself, and to make a decision on where she's going to set her efforts. And she's done this, she's made this decision. And so we're now in the present, where we have the 5 of the trumps, the Hierophant, and this card is talking about limitations. It's talking about doing the best that you can with what you know and with what you have. So she is currently doing the best that she can with what she knows and with what she has. But there are still limitations on it. She still has limitations in her knowledge and limitations in her physical resources that slow down the process of reaching for the desire she's trying to create for herself. This creates insecurity, and it creates fear and a sense of inadequacy. So it also turns her introspective. It makes her look at herself again and re-examine all of these things, and there are certain thoughts of self-doubt that come and hinder and bother her. This card is also talking to you and wants to tell you that you are a teacher archetype, and that you can help her with this. You can recognize when she's in these moments, and you can encourage her, and you can remind her of what she's been doing so far that is commendable. You can remind her that it's not about the limitations, it's about doing the best that you can despite the limitations. You can remind her of the decision that she's made and the future that she's trying to manifest, so that she's not jumping back and forth between different desires, so that she's sticking to her purpose. Because if you're constantly going around in a circle, like doing one thing and then throwing that away and doing another thing and then throwing that away, you're never going to get anywhere. Remind her to stay on track with the one thing that she's chosen. Future interval, so the future doesn't happen to you. You claim the future and you make it happen the way you desire it. This card is here to provide you with a little bit of advice regarding the opportunities you can seize in the present to reach for the future that you want. It is the 8 of Cups, so it wants you to make some adjustments into the way that you handle the flow in of emotion and the flow out of emotion. So she's feeling like a lot of her emotional cups are not being filled, and she feels like she's giving out and not receiving back, and you feel the same, like you're giving out and not giving back, like certain cups are just not being filled in this relationship. So this card wants you to look at how you handle emotional income and expense, and to make some adjustments to your own habits to help find a balance in the way that emotional fulfillment flows in and out of you, so that not only can you have balance in yourself between income and expense of emotion, you can also help her fill her cups, fill her emotional cups, and find balance in herself as well. Thank you so much. I cannot tell you if she still loves you. Only she knows that. Selah. And love is a choice, though. We choose to love. So Nick Stevenson is requesting a couple of cards, please. Do you have a question, Nick Stevenson? You will be the last reading for the day. So Andrea, if you received value from that spread, if you feel like it was valuable to you and you'd like to give some value in return, please donate to me. Alternatively, you can also follow and share and like this video. Thank you so much. Nick Stevenson wants a general reading, and this will be the last reading of the day. Grant Nick Stevenson new perspective in his present situation. So here's a past interval, and it is number 2 of the trumps, the priestess. Present interval, number 7 of the trumps, it is the chariot. Future interval, number 10 of the trumps, called fortune. Okay. So past interval talks about how there was a gateway, an opportunity, and this opportunity was regarding value and abundance. That's physical abundance, that's emotional abundance, that is spiritual abundance, abundance and value of all kind. And so there was an opportunity presented to you for the potential for all of that value and abundance to be claimed and brought into your life. The potential and the opportunity came along with a warning and a promise. It said you can have these things, but you're going to need to have the endurance to attain them. You're going to need to go without emotional fulfillment and without financial fulfillment and without spiritual fulfillment while you're in this journey reaching for this value. But in the end, if you can have this, you will find it, you will reach the oasis, you will have that abundance. Much the way the camel has to have endurance and go through the desert with small amounts of water, long periods of time with barely any water, before he reaches the oasis and can fill up and be fulfilled. In the present, so that's things that have just closed. You stepped through that gate, you seized that potential, and you've been living in that and having that endurance, exercising it. In the present, you're examining yourself and what you actually want from yourself and what you want from your life and what you want from your environment, and you're looking at all the various options that you have towards making that a reality. Choosing which direction to send your chariot, in other words. So your life vehicle, you want to send it somewhere, you're choosing what you actually want to see as the reality that you live in. Once you set this chariot in motion, nothing's going to stop it. It will reach its destination. The card wants to remind you not to spend too long looking at various options that you have. Pick and send your chariot. Choose. Have a look, see what resonates, and choose it. And then don't look back. Don't sit again and choose. Once you've chosen, head for it. Don't stop until you reach your destination. Future interval, number 10 of the trumps. So this card, the future doesn't happen to you. You obtain it through hard work, and you sow seeds that you reap. So fortune, number 10, is talking about a full cycle. It wants to remind you that in the present moment, you can be reaping the harvest of the seeds that you've sown in the past. So whether those seeds be positive, were born from positive intentions or negative intentions, everything you sow into the present manifests into the future. So whatever you have sown in the past is available to be reaped in the present. And it wants to remind you that whatever you sow now into the present is what you're going to reap. So when you've chosen which direction you're going to send the chariot, where you want your life to head and how you want it to look, sow seeds right now into your present consistently. Every day sow new seeds towards that desire, towards that future, and it will manifest. It will come full circle and it will return to you. It also wants to remind you that negative intentions you sow will be negative harvest that you reap. If you are rude to other people, you will reap rudeness as a harvest. If you sow pain, you will reap pain. But if you sow abundance and you sow productivity and you sow acceptance and you sow strength and endurance and you sow compassion and you sow honesty and tact and you sow discernment, those are the things that you will reap, and together they will give you freedom, and you will soar on those wings of freedom. Thank you very much, and I hope that this resonates with you. So that was the last reading of the day. Thank you very much. If it was valuable to you, Nick, please go ahead and return some of that value by giving me a donation, or by liking this video, or following my page, or sharing it. Although it's going I'm going offline now, so sharing it isn't going to help at this point. But thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for giving me the opportunity. To everybody who joined, thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my gifts. And as I've done this, I've noticed when my emotions well up, and there are moments when I want to say something that's not in alignment with my purpose, and so it lets me see myself, and I grow. And the more I see myself and let go of these things and accept the negativity that has happened and choose to act in alignment anyway, I feel a lot better each time that I do that. So thank you so much. As much as I have helped you here, you have helped me. Thank you, and good day.